Hi there, I'm meteorologist Nash Rhodes with MyFoxHurricane.com with an update on what's happening right now in the tropics. And over the past few days, we haven't seen very much. We've been tracking various tropical waves here and there, and one named storm, that was a very brief tropical storm with Alberto that made landfall in Mexico. Otherwise, we are awaiting to see if Beryl or Chris, those two next names, will be called at some point in the near future. The Gulf of Mexico, not very active right now as we're tracking a cluster of storms here in the central portions of the Caribbean. That's our next tropical wave that we're keeping an eye on as it drifts due west into the western Caribbean, and then eventually the Bay of Campeche over the next 5 to 7 days or so. We are going to likely see just some marginal development and organization with this, but still many of our forecast models are not too hot on this system trying to get its act together. It enters into a very, say, warm sea surface temperatures, a slightly more favorable environment than it currently is right now. Enhanced satellite imagery still showing these storms not particularly organized, but a little more vigorous than what we were seeing earlier this morning. A broad look here at the Atlantic still showcasing one other tropical wave that we're monitoring very far to our east. This one, to put things in perspective, is about 3,000 miles away from the coast of Florida, so we have a long time to keep an eye on this as it moves due west. It's been bumped up to a 30% chance of formation over the next 7 days by the National Hurricane Center, and as it moves closer to the Lesser Antilles, it will be working into a much more favorable environment than it is right now. Right now, these thunderstorms attached with this system, very weak and disorganized. It is not an invest at this stage in time, but as it moves due west, many of our models try and develop it into something. It's too early to speculate on potentially where that would be headed next, but closer to the Lesser Antilles, just note that's when it will potentially show a little more signs of life than it is right now. Saharan dust still rolling off of Africa, though, keeping much of the main development region, this area we watch here, especially during the peak of hurricane season, in check. That dry air sapping up all the moisture out of the atmosphere and making it very difficult for any tropical systems to organize right now. As we play this forward, though, I want to show you something interesting. We're monitoring a small plume of Saharan dust just to our east over sections of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. This is going to have a shot at entering into the Gulf of Mexico into Saturday and Sunday specifically. Notice it kind of noses around Florida and makes its way toward potentially Texas or Louisiana. Regardless, that could have minor impacts on your local weather forecasting, but otherwise, I'm not really anticipating anything substantial out of the tropics here for Florida for at least the next 7 days. Keep it locked here at MyFoxHurricane.com for the latest updates, and we'll keep you up to speed.